Hello and welcome to Bespoke Unit. My name is Paul Anthony.
I'm CP.
And today we're exploring the top 5 winter fragrances for 2018, even though we're missing one of them on the table. So Charles Philippe, this top 5 was assembled by yours truly, and how did you derive this list?
So first of all, I'd like to say that I used the Bespoke Unit fragrance formula, which is a quantifiable review matrix that Paul and I have been working on for the last 5 years, I think it was. It's one of our longer term projects on Bespoke Unit. It is a quantifiable and justified review matrix, like I mentioned, that uses a score system so that really kind of takes the subjectivity out of fragrances as much as possible. So each of the fragrances on the table today have been rated highly on this, and so aren't just personal favorites or fragrances that we just love.
So a blank copy of this Bespoke Unit fragrance formula, or BUF for sure, is in the description below. So without further ado, let's start off with number 1 on your list, Charles.
Now number 1 on this list is a very designer fragrance and a bit of a wild card. I didn't expect it to be all the way up here, and to be honest, it's not my favorite either. It's Dolce Gabbana The One, fronted by Matthew McConaughey, as I recall.
Alright. Trying to get into copyright infringement. Alright then, Charles, let's carry on.
Just going round and round. So this is going to be a theme that we're going to see across a lot of these winter fragrances, and the opening notes, the opening citrus notes, which are usually like bergamot or lemon or lime. For winter, you're going to find a lot of grapefruit. Yeah. It's kind of this bitter orange citrusiness, which kind of is a bit more spicy and therefore more associated with the winter months. Dolce Gabbana The One is no exception, and it also features some nutmeg in the heart, which makes it quite spicy, with some guaiac in the base for this really warm tobacco note.
So when I said take it away with number 1, I didn't actually mean our number 1 choice. I think all of these have their merits, and we've tried to put together a list of the top 5 that will appeal to the broader spectrum of people, whether it's, you know, a boutique fragrance, a designer fragrance, an affordable fragrance, which is Old Spice original, which is not on the table. So just wanted to throw that in there. That's the same with our best spring, summer, fall, autumn and winter fragrances, where the links will be below. So that's kind of our methodology. We don't like to say this is the absolute best. We do like to kind of give a range based on prices, based on, you know, maybe preferences you have. So with that being said, when should you wear this? What time of day?
This is very much an evening fragrance. It's perfect for going on a date at night, as is number 2. We'll talk about that in a second, because it has this very warm, spicy and quite tobacco-y, mellow flavors to it that you can just imagine wearing by a log fire inside in the warmth, when outside it's stormy, it's raining and it's quite bitter and cold. It's a very comforting fragrance and quite tantalizingly sensual.
Okay, great. Now moving on to the next one. Here.
Number 2, Armani Code. A very well-known fragrance that's been out for a number of years. Armani Code is recognizable by its long, sleek bottle. Like Dolce Gabbana The One, it has a guaiac and labdanum base. Well, Dolce Gabbana The One doesn't have the labdanum, and I'll just get to that in a sec. I want to start with the head. This is an exception to the rule. There is no grapefruit in this. This is lemon and pepper, so you do have a much fresher, more sort of kind of striking, crisp citrus note, but then it's kind of made spicy by this pepper.
Would you say it's a bit more of a daytime fragrance compared to the first one because of that?
Yes and no. I'd say it's much more versatile, but it's definitely a date fragrance. This is perfect for going out on a date. This is a very sensual and very sexy fragrance. Especially when you get to the base, which is guaiac and labdanum. The guaiac creates this pipe tobacco just like you had here, but it also has the musky labdanum to be able to create something a bit more leathery. This is great, even if it's slightly fleeting. It doesn't last very long, which makes it perfect for a date, because when you're in a date and you hope things get a bit more intimate towards the end, you'd like it to fade away so it doesn't blow her head off as she gets closer. Sorry?
Said I wouldn't know.
But no, I mean, neither would I. I'm happily married. But,
there we go. So anyway, talking about our mysterious missing guest, which we already touched on. So Old Spice original. Charles Philippe is visiting here from France, where it's easily accessible. And here in the USA, we have gone to Giant, which is a supermarket. We've gone to CVS, which is a pharmacy chain, as well as Walgreens, and all of them are stocking the classic, I believe, and not the original. And one thing to note about this classic is that it now comes in a plastic bottle, which, shock horror, also changes the formula due to the corrosive properties of the originals that were in glass. Furthermore, the classic does not smell great. The original is like the original. We did find some deodorant that did smell like the original. However, it would have been, you know, fairly odd. So we've decided to omit it here. It's available online. Links below, as with all of these fragrances. With that long introduction being said, Charles, take it away.
Well, Old Spice for Men is an absolute classic. It's been around since the 30s, and it's also a very cheap option. It's an aftershave, but it lasts for quite a while. It's $15 online in the links below for 100ml or 3.4 ounces. So that makes it really great value. But why would you wear this as a fragrance when it's just an aftershave? You know, I've been reading in our third-party feedback and from the comments that we receive and through the test that a lot of men of different ages like to wear it specifically for formal occasions such as Thanksgiving and for Christmas Mass. They love wearing it at church. They feel that it's a very formal fragrance despite its low price, but they'll wear it for also sort of more family occasions as well. Its head is blood orange rather than grapefruit, but that still gives this kind of spicy mellowness with vanilla, nutmeg and amber throughout the dry down. It kind of reminds me of mulled wine, so you've really got this winter sort of aesthetic with this fragrance.
Sure. Okay, moving on, as we have it on the table, we are looking at Spicebomb.
Yes.
So this I bought sight unseen, again based off recommendations of you guys here in the fragrance community. And I didn't actually like it at first, but I started to wear it, kind of persevered with it a little bit, and it's an absolute compliment magnet. Like, I've never really experienced this with fragrance this much. Girlfriend absolutely loves it. I get so many compliments when I wear this. You can't argue with it, basically.
I'd liken it to I'd say it's the new Paco Rabanne 1 million, in the sense that was a compliment getter when it first came out, became a victim of its own success. It's kind of been like turned into the fragrance that everyone wears, and Viktor and Rolf Spicebomb have come in and kind of replaced that with this new, more contemporary take on their tried and tested formula.
But this is definitely seasonal specific.
Oh yeah, you can't wear this throughout any other time during the year.
Yeah, if some of you guys are new to fragrances, we're big proponents here of wearing fragrances for seasons. Hence this video, best winter fragrance. And as many of you in the community know that you know, you not only have fragrances for seasons, but occasions and time of day as well. So, okay, we've had a few evening fragrance, a formal fragrance. This is maybe a little more fun. You know, maybe something you can wear through the daytime as well. We'll jump onto this in a minute. This is quite linear, and I think that makes it appropriate for the office, but also formal occasions. This is actually quite. But getting back, sorry, to Spicebomb.
Yeah, sure. I mean, Spicebomb in name and Spicebomb in nature, it starts with some grapefruit in the head, just like these, but in the heart you have all the spices you could imagine, some luxurious saffron, cinnamon, paprika. It's a very rich heart, but when it gets to the base, you have some guaiac wood, which might sound familiar. We had these earlier, which gives some burning leaves and tobacco notes, as well as some agar wood and labdanum, which creates a lovely leathery accord.
Sure. Okay, now we've really gone on the grapefruit train, the blood orange train, and we're going to stay on that train here. So if any of you guys below have any fantastic winter fragrances that aren't really heavy on the grapefruit and blood orange, please comment below. Love to include them in the 2019 list. Always looking for new fragrances. With that being said, here is one of my all-time favorite fragrances, and I literally blew my nose off with this to where I couldn't smell it anymore, so I had to give it a year's break. This was probably the first boutique fragrance I ever bought. I actually found it at a shop called Sterling & Burke in Washington DC, even though it's a London-based brand. This sucker opens up, a little bit grapefruity, a little bit peppery, and then you just get, wow, it just settles down into this cedar base, which is just dreamy for me. I mean, in the winter months, it's like a blanket. It just covers you up, makes you feel so comfortable. I cannot say enough for this fragrance. I don't really enjoy a lot of the Penhaligon's fragrances, to be perfectly honest. I think they're very linear. I don't think they offer great value for money. Another video on that one. However, this sucker, Not overly cheap, not as maybe accessible as these. You can find it online in some of the bulk retailers accessibly. There will be links below to all of these fragrances where to buy. But if you haven't tried this, I implore you to do so, because I think it's a fantastic woody fragrance, where these are kind of woody tobacco-y fragrances with the guaiac wood. This definitely is different. It also follows kind of a linear pattern that we've kind of identified with some of our fragrances, where we have this is the kind of winter citrusy, more woody fragrance. Then we have Terre de Hermes, which is kind of that citrusy, woody autumn fragrance, stroke CP even wears it in the spring. And then we have the Acqua de Palm Cedro, which is definitely a citrusy, woody fragrance that is perfect for those warmer months. So if you love this, then you may love those other two, and vice versa. And if you want to stay in that kind of range but then have some seasonal variants, that could be something you would be willing to explore. I've explored it, and I'm on that boat as myself, so it's again, the bespoke in your fragrance formula, it definitely tries to remove biases, but we do come back to certain things that we do enjoy.
There is going to be a little bit of sway every now and then, but not all the time. For example, this is a prime example. I don't particularly like it, but it scored well and has been made one of the best for this particular occasion and time of year.
Sure. With that being said, as always, please write any comments or questions you have below. Troll away. Mention down there that you don't think that grapefruit or blood orange fragrances are at all appropriate for winter, and you've got something else that you would think we'd put down there. We're a community here. We're all trying to support each other. We're all trying to learn new things. Any new guys in the community, it'd be great to hear if some of these fragrances are new, and if you try them out and give us your feedback. Any of you seasoned veterans out there, please tell us what you think as well. Like this video and
smash that subscribe button.
My name is Paul Anthony.
I'm CP.
And I'll see you next time.
Take care.